boy, is this what I'm going to do right now. I could just spend 20 minutes integrating what the first three speakers said with what my life and my experience has been. And I know we have 10 minutes, so I'm not going to do that, but we can do it certainly in some. Speak louder. Okay, stand in. So what I decided to do was, I'm not a methods person. This title came from I don't know where. Jason said, would you do something? I'm deeply committed to education, but I'm not a K-12 educator. He said, well, you do something on education and maybe action research. And I thought, okay, I can do that. And then all of a sudden, polarities came. And what's really clear to me is that polarities are one of the methods that was on the list, but the whole language issue of problem solving would be questionable in the polarity world, because they would say problem solving is what were obvious problems with obvious methods, and that everything else in the three quadrants are really complex and need to be addressed with both ends. And Melinda has done something on polarities 2 years ago. And there's a whole system about that. But I think that that's really an important distinction. And for the purposes of this, I'll call it problem solving. So an action research for me is also a misnomer, because all of us are doing action research. And we tend to think of that as scholarly and in the academy. And action research is participatory, and my preference is to call it action learning. And that's where Jason and I met through the Society for Organizational Learning, and we came at it from very different perspectives. But what everybody in this room is doing is systemic action learning, participatory with other people. So I'm going to read you a story, a piece of the story. Okay, I need this one, right? Okay, teach me. What do I do? Right. Okay. I'm going to read a part of this book. And the reason I'm reading you this book is I've lived this methodology. And it's the reason that I'm here, and Jason and Jeff were part of the next step of this story. This is the starting point. Broken bottles. Mañana school was a scary place. No kidding. The fence had holes big enough for a grown man to run through, and a grown man did. The walls of the building were thirsty for paint. The buildings themselves looked scared. The schoolyard was full of weeds, and junk of all sorts lay all over the place. Broken bottles, crushed cans, skins from long ago eaten fruit, mango pips, a South African food, and things you could no longer tell what they'd been before they got vrote, that is rot, on what was supposed to be our playing field. We never played there. We were too scared of what might happen. And a lot happened there. Sometimes at night, scolies, vandals, and gang members came to our school. They broke things, they stole things, and those things they didn't break or steal, they threw all over the place. They messed everything up. But come rain or shine, we all went to school. We were too poor to dodge school. If you dodge school, you need money to go to the movies, and we never had any money. Even a stroll along the beach is not much fun unless you have something to lunch on. So our feet took us to school, even though most of the time we didn't want to go there. Didn't feel like it. Even our parents didn't want to set foot in our school. The way Pa talked about it, I done school. When I was a kid, you'd think the school was a jail. Still every morning,
Pa and Mom made me and Bodie, my little brother, go to school. And I can tell you that school was a mess every single day. First thing, every morning we had to sweep and clean up the schoolyard. Okay, we didn't like that at all. It was no fun to clean up the mess, like every day, especially when you were flat-belly hungry at the same time. Who wants to go to a scary, messed up school? So this is the story about a person who was a teacher in this school, inherited it as a principal. And he then did community involvement to solve the problem of this kind of environment. And he writes at the end of it, this fictional story about Mañana School is inspired by real events at Zerilda Park Primary School in Cape Town. That's in South Africa. Shortly after the historic democratic elections in 1994 that ended apartheid, the racial segregation and discrimination system in South Africa. With Nelson Mandela as our first president, it was a time of great hope, expectancy, and a bit of anxiety. We imagined what our new country, new democracy would look like, and what role everyone would play in building a non-racial society. He goes on to explain that in South Africa, there are 3 classes of people: Black, who are the historical Africans that we call African Americans who came here. Then there are colored people who are mixed race and Indian and Chinese, and then white, who came either from the Dutch side or the English side. So he goes on to say, they lack necessary resources needed to provide, this is the school, students much beyond a basic education. In addition, the majority of Black schools were located in poor communities where the social challenges of poverty, hunger, ill health, and drug abuse were rampant. I was the principal of Zerilda Park Primary during the brick-making project. That's what this book is about. As teachers, parents, and community members, we realized that the school had an important role to play in building a new democracy. We understood that our school had to prepare students to become the future leaders of the country. In order to do this, we had to focus on teaching and learning, while also addressing some of the challenges that prevented our students from getting a good education. We believed that we should not wait for help to come from the outside. Change had to start with us. Zerilda Park is situated in an area of Cape Town known as Lavender Hill. It was established by the apartheid government as a high-density housing development on the sandy outskirts of the city. So at the time of this story, Zerilda Park had 1,104 students and 29 teachers, including me, the principal. He carried a teaching load. The school served the communities, and it was an informal settlement with 2 or 3 languages that were spoken in the families. And the people lived in shacks made from corrugated tin and bound materials. Most of the students in the school were colored, none were white. The school had Afrikaans, English, and isiXhosa speaking students with Afrikaans and English as the languages of instruction. Some of the teachers didn't speak English or Afrikaans. They spoke the native language. At Zerilda Park, we knew that learning needed to take place in a safe environment, free of danger or fear. For this to happen, we had to find ways to address the challenges that confronted us at school. We saw the school as a community asset. It was not only a place where students could learn, but also where parents could be supported. The brick and block making project, as it was called. The project made concrete blocks in addition to bricks. Was one of a number of projects that we started at the school and formed part of the